Hello everyone. Today we are going to one more physical quantity that is known as acceleration. In previous video we had discussed about the speed, average speed, velocity and average velocity. So now our question is what is the acceleration? So whenever object is in motion, so their velocity may be changed with respect to distance or with respect to time. Okay? What? Whenever object is in motion, so their velocity may be changed with respect to distance or with respect to time. So now our question is how we can describe this change in velocity? Because this velocity may be changed with respect to distance. That means when we move, so distance can be increasing. So with respect to distance, velocity may be changed, or according to time, it is also changed with respect to time. Suppose when car is moved in traffic places, so at that time their car velocity will be decreasing. But when tree place will be arrival, at that time car will be the speed will be increasing. That means velocity is increasing. So according to distance and times, this velocity can be changed. So now our question is how we can describe this change in velocity? Because here we have two possibilities with respect to distance and with respect to times. So the scientist Galileo first described this change in velocity with respect to distance. This is WRT. This is v with respect to distance. Okay. So first scientist Galileo described this change in velocity with respect to distance. But after the performing the experiment in which the object is free fall or the motion of the object on inclined plane, so at that time Galileo have observed that when we describe this change in velocity, with respect to time, so this change is constant. That means this change in velocity in equal intervals of the time that is equal. Okay? So when we describe this change in velocity with respect to time, so that change is constant. But the change in velocity with respect to distance, it is not constant, but when distance is increased, this change in velocity is decreasing. Okay? That means in equal intervals of the times, that change in velocity is different or decreasing. So finally, the acceleration is defined by the change in velocity in unit intervals of the times or with respect to times. So first of all, what is the definition of acceleration? So acceleration is defined as the change in velocity with respect to time, with respect to times. So now we define the average acceleration. Okay. So now what is the average acceleration? So average acceleration is defined as change in velocity per unit intervals of the times. Now in average, we take the intervals of the times. During that intervals, object can be changed their velocity. Okay? In only acceleration, we have given this specific times. But when we define the average acceleration, at that times, you take the intervals of the times. During that intervals of the times, object can be changed their velocity. So what is the definition for average acceleration? So average acceleration is defined as change in velocity per unit intervals of the times. So according to this definition, we can write down one equation for average acceleration. So average acceleration is equal to change in velocity divided by time intervals. Okay? So this is the equation for average acceleration. Now here we had seen that acceleration is developed or produced whenever the velocity can be changed. If velocity is changed, so acceleration is produced. So now question is how velocity can be changed. So there are three possibilities by which the velocity can be changed. First of all, we know that velocity is the vector quantity, and vector quantity have no direction and magnitude. Direction and magnitude. So velocity can be changed when only magnitude will be changed. If the magnitude of the velocity will be changed, so velocity also change. Second one, only the direction change. If if car is moving these directions, but the magnitude will be remain same and take a turn, that means direction can be changed. So at that time velocity value is also changed. So second case, that is only direction can be changed. And third one, both magnitude and direction can be changed, the velocity is also changed. So there are three possibilities for changing velocity. First one, only magnitude is changed, direction will be remain same. Second one, only direction can be changed, the magnitude will be remain same. And third one, both magnitude and direction can be changed. So these three cases in which the velocity values can be changed. And whenever velocity value can be changed, so that produces the acceleration. Now we derive the equation for acceleration, average acceleration and instantaneous acceleration. So for that we consider at now we derive the equation for acceleration. So for that, suppose as time t1 the velocity of object is given and at time t2 the velocity of the object is v2. That means the object can change the velocity from v1 to v2 during the time interval v1 to v2. Now we know that the definition of average acceleration, that is the ratio of the average acceleration, that is change in velocity divided by change in time intervals or time intervals. Change in time or time intervals. So now first of all we find out the change in velocity. So change in velocity, that is delta v is equal to, this is final velocity v2 minus v1, and change in time, that is time interval delta t is equal to t2 minus t2. So now put values of this one here. So we get the average acceleration, that is delta v by delta t is equal to v2 minus v1 divided by v2 minus. So now suppose when this time intervals tends to 0, that means these time intervals is very small. So when delta t tends to 0, at that time this average velocity comes to instantaneous velocity. That means now we apply, this is our instantaneous velocity, limit delta t tends to 0 to average velocity, average acceleration. So now we have limit delta t tends to 0. Here this quantity is acceleration, okay, not velocity. So this is your average acceleration. Now these time intervals is very small. So at that time we apply the limit delta t tends to 0 to this average acceleration. So this gives you instantaneous acceleration. Instantaneous acceleration. So this is the instantaneous acceleration delta v by delta. When we remove this limit, so this partial derivative becomes perfect derivative. So this is your instantaneous acceleration, that is dv by dt. So this one is your average acceleration and this is your instantaneous acceleration. Okay. So here we can derive the acceleration in terms of the x, because we know that the velocity, that is change in position with respect to time. Okay, dx by dt, that is velocity. So now put this value v is equal to dx by dt in this equation. So we get the acceleration a is equal to d by dt, that is as it is d by dt, and instead of v we put dx by dt, that means dx by dt. So we get d square x by dt square. So this is the acceleration in terms of the x. So from these two equations we conclude that when we find out the single time derivative to x, so we get the velocity. But when we take the double time derivative to x, you get the acceleration. Okay. So now to find out the unit, what is the unit for acceleration? So from this equation, this is the ratio of velocity and time. So acceleration unit, for that we find out the velocity unit, that is we know what is the velocity unit, that is meter per second. and time is that is second. So this is ratio of these two. So acceleration has the speed that is meter per second divided by second. So this one is meter per second. So meter per second square is unit for acceleration. Now what is the dimensional formula? Dimensional formula. So dimensional formula, we know that we use the terms m, l, t and k. This is for weight or mass. This is for mass. This is for length. This is for time. And this is for electric currents. But here we will not discuss about the electric currents. So this is meters. So this is for length and have only one part. So we get in numerator L1, and this is second. So this is for time and have two power. So t. So we get L1 t minus 2. Here mass is not there, so we can write m0. So m0 L1 t minus 2. That is the dimensional formula for acceleration. Okay. So this is the discuss about acceleration. So now we know that the acceleration is the vector quantity. So from the velocity we conclude that velocity is the vector quantity and it may be positive, negative or zero. So similarly, say acceleration, it may be positive, negative or zero. So now we try to understand how we can conclude the acceleration is positive, negative or zero. So we have the equation that is the acceleration a is equal to v2 minus v1 divided by v2 minus v1. Here what is there? Time t2 is always greater than t1. t2, that is final time, is always greater than to t2. That means t2 minus t1, this difference is always positive. So now the sign of the acceleration, it may be positive, negative or zero, is dependent only on this difference, v2 minus v1. When this velocity difference is positive, at that time the acceleration is positive. If this is negative, acceleration is negative. And if this difference is zero, at that time acceleration is zero. So we consider first case in which the velocity of object is increasing. Velocity is increased. So at that time, we know that velocity increase means the final velocity is greater than to initial velocity. That means v2 greater than v1. This is final velocity, this is initial. So when we take the difference v2 minus v1, so that is greater than 0, that is positive. These numerators, denominator is always positive and this is positive, so acceleration is positive. Now consider second case in which velocity is decreased. So velocity is decreased, that means final velocity is less than initial. So this difference v2 minus v1, that is negative. If this is negative, so we get the acceleration is negative. Now third case, when this difference is zero, but this difference is zero when object is moved with uniform velocity, that means constant velocity. If object move with constant velocity, constant velocity means final velocity is equal to initial velocity. So for this one we have v2 minus v1, that is equal to 0. If numerator is 0, divide by any numbers, that is equal to 0. So in this case your acceleration is 0. Okay. So in short, when velocity of the object which is in motion if increasing, at that time acceleration is positive. Velocity of the object which is in motion if decreasing, that is acceleration is negative, and the object is moved with constant velocity. So at that time acceleration is 0. Also, if the direction of velocity and acceleration is along one direction, at that time the speed of the object is increasing, and this motion of the object is known as acceleration motion. the direction of velocity and acceleration both are in same direction. And second case, when the direction of velocity and acceleration is opposite. This is along one direction or in same direction, and this is in opposite direction. So at this time, this speed of the object is decreasing and this motion of the object is known as deceleration motion. Suppose car is moving in this direction and when we apply the brake, so at that time acceleration is produced in this direction. That means velocity is in this direction and acceleration is opposite. At that time speed is decreasing and this motion is known as deceleration motion. Okay, so this is the information about the acceleration. We derive the average acceleration formula, then instantaneous acceleration formula, then we take the SI unit of the acceleration, dimensional formula, and acceleration may be positive, negative or zero. Here we have discussed. And then what is the acceleration motion and what is the deceleration motion. Okay, so now we stop here. Thank you.